Thomas Frank Carr inside Haluba Hall one final time for the spring, giving you the sights and sounds of Penn State's open practice, their final one before the blue-white game. Of course, subscribe here to YouTube so you don't miss any of our content, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any breaking news or when highlight videos drop. We're going to try and give you the one thing that Penn State fans have asked by popular demand the most for, which is the offensive line, and we'll try to give you a view of them here in practice, but excuse me guys, we're trying to see the offensive line here. Excuse me, sir, would you mind? We're trying to get to the offensive line. This is the main reason that we have not been able to give you a clear view of the offensive line, but the football gods were kind to us today. We got an open window to see some players that Penn State fans have been curious about, including tackle for the class of 2020, Jimmy Christ, a player that Penn State fans have been curious about as to how his development has gone over the last several seasons. With Penn State being very thin on the offensive line, it's likely that you'll be able to see Christ in detail and a good bit of his play in the blue-white game coming up this weekend, but we got to see him working some pass sets and some run game during the open practice during Wednesday's session. Also, Caden Wallace getting some one-on-one individual drills to start practice. Focused mostly on the young depth players for Penn State, including J.B. Nelson, the transfer guard from Lackawanna Community College. Very interesting stories. You can see a fit 300-pound guard who reshaped his body over the last several seasons after the COVID-19 pandemic. He is a very talented football player, but once again, a very raw football player. So learning more about him and his development this spring is going to be something of interest during the blue-white game. Backup players, including Nick Dawkins as well, getting individual reps during the run period for the Nittany Lions. Salim Wormley working back from injury. Not sure if we'll see him in the game this upcoming weekend, but seeing him doing any sort of physical activity that involves contact is a good thing for the Nittany Lions. As always, we'll take a look at the quarterbacks. Mike Yursich working with the signal callers on some pocket drills and escape drills. Also, we'll be hearing shortly from senior editor Nate Bauer on what he heard from James Franklin on a Big Ten podcast this week about quarterback Sean Clifford.
And then I thought he talked about the quarterbacks. He talked about Sean Clifford, believing that Clifford has the opportunity to have a good year this season, the positive influence and the feedback, interesting point, that he got from the parents of Drew Alar and Bo Pribula last weekend after Penn State's scrimmage, that Clifford's influence has been of benefit to everyone in the room.
The focus this week during the open part of practice for the quarterbacks was the mesh point and the ability to hand the back the ball or keep the ball in a read option situation. And you'll see as we go through this, there's no real order or depth chart like there normally is going through these drills. The reason for that is you need to have every quarterback familiar with every running back in case somebody gets in the game. Everyone needs to have a familiarity with each other at the mesh points so there aren't fumbles or mistakes in the handoff. That'll do it today for Blue White Illustrated's view of practice. Make sure you subscribe here on the YouTube channel and hit the notification button so you don't miss anything from Blue White Illustrated.